Hmm. Aloha. Welcome. We just celebrated Independence Day, and in the Shambhavananda tradition, this is actually a really special holiday because it represents our spiritual freedom, right? This ability to find that expansive, infinite joy inside, regardless of what is happening all around us. And so today, as we move and we find physical freedom as our physical tension releases, our deeper, bigger goal will be to feel that sense of expanse inside. It will be helpful to have a blanket if you have sensitive knees or just like a little support in positions like this. Blocks could be handy if you like to have blocks under your hands in like these kind of moments. So sort of optional props today, but feel free to grab them if you need them. And then we can begin. So Satyam, will you zoom out? We'll start on our right side. So sit over to the right and gently make your way onto your side. The arm can cradle the head. If that's not comfortable, arm can come forward and a blanket can come over your ear, or under your ear. I guess you could put it over your ear too, like a little pillow. Oh yeah, nice. Bob, you can bend the elbow. That's great. No, we're not. You're mirroring, yeah. And then if it feels comfortable, close the eyes. And let yourself start to soften and relax. And something magical happens on the right side of the body here. Because it's protected by the earth, it naturally relaxes and even starts to pool. So see if you can feel that sensation of release that's happening on the right side of the body. You might even compare it to the left side that's actually naturally protecting and gently tightening as it's exposed and bare. And we'll just take a few breaths to feel inside and let go of our day. Let go of the good things, let go of the bad things, and become very interested in what it feels like to be inside your body right now in this moment. If you're following along with the playlist, you can hit play on the first track. Make sure it's set to loop, and then we'll begin some really gentle rocks forward and back. And as you do that, move a little slower than... Hi Laura, welcome. So glad you could be here. Move a little slower than your first inclination. And maybe you all have done lots of classes with me, so you already know how to move slow. And so what is it like to back off just a little bit and feel more, right? As you slow down, it's like your sensory awareness turns up. And this helps us relax through the nervous system. Releasing anything we might be holding, or at the least starting to notice where you're holding. Maybe you didn't realize that there was a tightness somewhere in the body, and noticing it is a huge blessing, because believe me, it was there before this moment. And becoming aware of it is the first step, and allowing it to release. We'll be here for about 1 more minute, and I want this time to be for you. So maybe that means focusing on a certain area in the body that feels tight or needs love. Maybe it means exploring, changing where the legs are, rolling a little faster. Give yourself space to be free. And then come to stillness eventually. You don't need to rush. And I'm going to demonstrate something so it's easier when it happens. So we'll start with my favorite slow motion rolls, and I'll cue those in a moment. We'll take a few of them, and then eventually I'll cue you to push into the top hand to help you roll up to seated. So I wanted you to see that before that's happening. And so for the slow rolls, imagine you're like a book. Start to open the front cover of the book, and as the arm and leg lift, notice how it pulls on the rest of the body, and take your time with this. And then enjoy that moment where you're balanced on your back, but then the momentum slowly takes you all the way to the other side. And we'll take our time with this because there's this amazing weightless moment that you can start to tune into. And believe it or not, even though you're just as cute as a little baby discovering its body for the first time, you are awakening your deep core. You know, babies have really strong cores. Their bodies are way more intelligent than ours because their minds don't get in the way. So even though this is sweet and soothing and enjoyable, you're getting stronger. Try to feel those connections. How the arms and legs relate to the axial skeleton. How the arms and legs are connected to the opposite side of the body. And you are one whole. Let's take one more roll away. And then when you're coming back towards the screen, get ready to push into the left hand using the momentum and that pressure to come up to staggered legs. I'll give you guys a moment. Yes, Janice, I know that was your first time doing that transition with me. Way to go. So adjust the legs so the knees are happy. So sometimes a stack is better than a stagger. And then imagine you just rolled up. The momentum is going to take you over to the left. This will matter when we repeat this in a moment. And so the right side of the body opens. And you don't have to go very far, especially if it feels kind of clunky. Maybe it's more of a lifting up, and that's just fine. And then release the hands back down to where they came from. Start to paw the arms forward until you can bring the right forearm down. And we're going to wake up the right shoulder a little bit. In the future, we're going to take this part out. So left hand reaches up and take a few spirals in and out. And start to notice a sense of support from the arm up into the right shoulder. If you don't feel supported here, walk the arm in a little closer to the body. There should be a lot of space on the right side of the neck. Nice. And we'll take a few more, and as you open, lean back a little bit and notice how with a little extra weight in the pinky, how the back of the body supports you more. We often get really caught and stuck in the front of the body, that rounded head forward position, and we want to turn on the muscles in the back. That looks so expansive. Great. The next time you spiral down, place the left hand in front of you, and this is my favorite moment. Get ready for it. Push into the left hand, thread the right arm through, and this is going to take us right back into our weightless roll. Oh, gosh, it really never gets old. And so we'll take a couple rolls. That's our sequence. We'll be repeating it. You can go at your own pace or stay with me if you're staying with me. The next roll to your right, push into the left hand, coming up to the broad Vajrasana side bend, and try to feel that. Yeah, nice, you got it. You can take one breath there, and then we'll just paw the hands down, slide the right arm through, and go back into that amazing rolling moment. And take your time. If the transitions are challenging, feel free to take as many rolls as you want and stall before pushing up. But if you love the push up, you can go for it. Nice. Yeah, and I love when I've done this a couple of times, back to the thread through, how the body starts to learn the sequence and you don't have to think about it. And you can really feel the sense of energy like a wave sending you in a direction, and you can just ride the wave. Your body is so smart, it knows what to do. The next time you're up and side bending, pause there. Let the left hand cross the body, opening up to the right. Take a breath, and then release your right arm to your left shoulder and gaze down. Open and close a couple of times just to massage through the right side of the body. The gaze can follow the right thumb. Just make sure the neck is relaxed and there's not a sense of craning or straining. And then the next time the arm wraps around you, gaze down at the left shoulder. Take a couple of breaths into the back of the neck, the back of the shoulders. And then shift the weight into the right hip and cross the left leg in front of you for 1 moment. We're not going to be here very long, but I want you to just feel the right side of the body. With all the rolling and the side bending, it's subtle, but you might notice a sense of space or openness, a sense of being more awake, more alert, tingling. Just let your consciousness flood the right side of the body. And we'll go over to the other side now. So shift the weight over to the left. Now take your time relaxing down. The left arm slides out. Remember, you've got the option for a blanket underneath the head if that's not comfortable on your shoulder. And we'll pause and relax and connect with the breath. And again, compare the two sides of your body. And this is actually really interesting in this moment because you just did all this work on the right side of the body. And so there is a spaciousness, a lightness. But naturally in this position, the left side is going to start to relax even more. And so just notice the difference between the top and bottom. And then start to gently rock forward and back. And most of you have done this with me a lot, so feel free to explore the angle of the thigh bones. That can change how you feel and experience this. If you need a new layer, each day is a completely new experience. So and see if you can be in tune with your breath, as well as the sensations being received by the physical body. And it's amazing, after even just 10 minutes in class, how you might already feel more present. You might already feel a little freer from the things that you carry in your life. They're important, they're real, but it's so important to be able to set those weights down. Let the physical body relax. Let the mind relax so that you can connect to this deeper, more real place inside. And then when you pick those things up later, you'll be stronger. You'll be able to manage them with less effort. Pause for a moment in stillness. And then reach the left arm forward. Stack the right arm on top. Relax the head down. And start to lift the arm and the leg. And as they lift, let the body slowly peel open, eventually rolling onto the back and then all the way to the other side. And do this at your own pace, trying to find that moment of hang time at the center. The momentum's still carrying you in the opposite direction, but maybe you can feel that sense of suspension. The next time you're rolling over to the left, prepare to push into the right hand, taking that momentum up into the Bharadvajasana side bend. Take your time. Make sure the knees feel okay. And then we'll pause. I want everyone to get here. We'll take a couple breaths into the left side of the body. Nice. And then release the hands down. Paw them forward. Release the left forearm down. And then wrap your right arm around the body so the spine twists down and the gaze looks behind you. Push down into the bottom elbow, letting the spine open, letting the arm unfurl. Take a few of these and notice how the opening and closing action change the sensation in the left arm. You might notice a little bit more in the front of the body as you curl in and the back of the body as you open. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure there's no tension in the neck and the shoulder. Sometimes slower movements or smaller movements can help you feel more stable. The next time you're curled down, pause there. Plant the right hand in front of you. And my favorite moment, thread the left arm through, lower the left shoulder, and ta-da, open into your weightless roll. Take as many rolls as you want, especially if the transitions are challenging for you. Find what is most useful and most soothing. If you want to stay with my pacing, the next time you roll to the left, push up and carry that momentum all the way into the side bend. And notice how the side body can open more and more when it's effortless. You're not doing it, right? Gravity's doing it and you're just riding the wave. Paw the hands down, thread the arm through, melt into the floor so there's nothing clunky as you go into the roll. Almost as if you don't have bones. And take one more on your own time and we'll all meet in the Bharadvajasana side bend, but you don't need to rush to get there. No rushing allowed in yoga. There's like a lifeguard that's like, hey, no running. And once you're in the side bend, walk the right hand over to the left knee and curl the left arm down, gaze down at the right shoulder. Breathe into the back of the heart. Relax the neck without dropping the head. You still want to feel supported. And then push down into the shins. That'll send an impulse up the spine. Ride that wave to open back up. Take a few more of these on your own. And see how much ease you can find. There's no resistance in the body. If you bump up against something, don't go as far until you can find that smoothness. This might be more comfortable if you're, sitting. And then gently release the arm down. Cross the right leg in front and pause for a moment at center and notice the sensation now through both sides in the body. Maybe it feels easier and more supported to be here. Give yourself a big hug with the right arm on top and start to circle counter clockwise and let the weight shift around on the pelvis and the spine will just naturally follow. Yeah, it's totally fine to allow the knees to move with you. The next time you rock the weight back into the hips, change the cross of the arms and go the opposite direction. And let your circles get smaller and smaller until you're back at center with as much ease as is possible in this moment. Release the arms down. And if you like to have blocks for these kinds of things, grab your blocks and place them over to the right, but you might not need them, so then don't worry about it. Walk the hands behind you, cross the left ankle over the right thigh, sole of the right foot down, and start to windshield wiper the right leg, massaging through the hips. Our next transition might not be for everybody. I hope it is, but I want to demo it, and then I want to give you the freedom to get into this position the way that is the most friendly to you. So eventually, the left foot is going to come over to the right. We ride the momentum, plant the hands, and let the bottom leg step back. We'll meet in a lunge pointed to the right with our left leg in front. Nice, Dana. Yeah, great. You got it, Bob. Way to go. Yes, Janice, that was magical. Awesome. Way to go, everybody. So from here, option to place the blocks underneath the hands if that feels more spacious, and start to extend and bend the front knee. The back knee can be up or down. It's up to you. So feel with what your low back likes the most. Try both if you're not sure. And we're going to play with this movement for a few more breaths, and I want you to notice what happens to the spine when the leg extends. Try to feel how the upper body relates to the leg. And so if nothing happens, I want you to move slower and try to round the spine as the leg kicks and see if you can feel a sense of connectivity. And we'll just do this for one more round. And then stay with the leg extended and wag your tail from side to side. Move nice and slow, and imagine as the hips sway that the spine draws an S from side to side. Slowly place the sole of the front foot down, place the back knee down, push down into the legs, and allow the spine to roll up one vertebra at a time. The left arm reaches forward, and then you take that roll up right into a spiral. Ah, so nice. Spiral the other way, Laura, into the leg. Yeah. I might have cued it wrong. Let's take a few spirals just so your body gets used to this, and start to notice how you can push down into your right knee as you spiral open, and it gives you a little more reach through the left arm. And so get really interested in what's happening with that knee pushing down, because we're going to be doing a similar action later, and the back knee is going to be off the ground, but we're going to want it to push down. And so try to memorize that sensation right now. And the next time you spiral open, pause there and do some jazz hands just because you look glorious right now. Bring the left hand to the low back and slowly push down into the right knee and scoop the air up with the right arm. Take a breath through the right side of the body. Make sure the low back feels soft, because this is a big psoas opener and we don't want any tension in the low back. And then allow the right side to slowly start to shorten, pulling you forward, hands to floor or blocks. Option to lift the back knee, going right back into that previous movement. Stay here for a moment. We're going to repeat that sequence, and you're going to have the option to go here, or if the body is up for it, you'll turn the feet and take a big circle. Not yet, but I want you to see it because the circle is away from me. So it's good to see it in advance. Start to play with extending and bending the front knee. Notice how you can round the spine a little bit as the leg extends, letting the whole posterior chain lengthen, not just the hamstring. You don't want any tension in the low back as you do this. Let your body work as a team. Beautiful, Dana. And then the next time the leg extends, gently sway the hips from side to side. Imagine the spine drawing S's. Maybe it actually does. And then slowly set down the back knee. Shift the hips back just a little bit. Push down into the legs to roll up. The left arm is going to reach forward, up and back, right into the spiral. This time, keep going with the arm and bring it to the low back. And then push down into the right knee to extend that whole side like a rubber band stretching. Release the stretch. Let that pull you forward either into Prasarita or Parsvottanasana, or turn the feet and go right into a big circle like I demoed before. Nice, way to go. I guess that transition is for everybody. Awesome. Take a few of these big circles, and as you reach away from your center, try to feel how everything still stays connected and supported. The next time you circle towards the right foot, turn the feet to the right, slowly lower the left hand down and draw the left knee forward so you can bring your left hip down. Open to the right. Magic. Wow, we're so in the flow. You guys are like, yes, way to go. Did you know you would end up here? It's awesome. If you use the blocks, place them over to the left and pause. Give yourself a hug with the right arm on top and then hook the wrists. And so the right arm should still be on top. As you hook the wrists and pull the elbows down and wide, notice a sense of space across the chest. Here, I'll come closer, Janice. Yeah, there you go. You got it. There's a sense of spaciousness across the chest, and like literally watch my shoulders, like they literally get more expansive. You don't want to build tension as you do this, but notice this sense of space and breathe into it, and then see if you can relax a little while maintaining space. This is the feeling that we're going for. If you want to explore eagle arms, cross the arms more fully, bring the backs of the hands together or the palms, but make sure you still feel spacious. Sometimes when we do this, it feels like, oh. So we're still trying to find that sense of space across the chest, across the shoulders. Choose which feels best. You still have the option to hug. And then we'll go into our circling. And the circling isn't so much about the arms. You'll circle the weight around the hips, and the spine and the arms just follow, but you get a really nice massage through the shoulders with the arms bound in whatever way you've chosen. And then I didn't tell you what way to circle, so notice what way you're circling, because you're going to circle the other way in a moment. Come back to center, swoop your arms wide, and then give yourself a big hug with the left arm on top. Slide the arms open, hooking the wrists with the left arm on top. Feel that sense of space. And then experiment with your eagle arms. If you don't feel spacious, go back to the wrist hook or the hug. Once you've decided what works best for you, circle in the opposite direction if you can remember. It's okay if you can't remember. Nice, Janice. I really like seeing how your legs are following what the body's doing. That's so beautiful. And then come back to center, let the arms swoop open. We'll be doing eagle arms later, and I'm not going to cue all that detail, so remember that sense of spaciousness, and that's going to be the goal. Release the hands down. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. The sole of the left foot comes to the earth, and we massage from side to side, preparing for the transition that you guys all did so beautifully. Yes, it's amazing. And so I'll demo it as you do this, just so that your body can figure it out before you have to do it. Eventually, the sole of the top foot comes over to the left, the hands plant, and the bottom leg shoots back. When you feel ready to explore it, go for it. Yes, way to go, Charlotte. And then option to set the back knee down, option to bring hands to blocks. It's up to you. And we bend and extend the front leg. Try to keep the body sealed onto the thigh. I think that will really help that sense of unity through the whole back line, where as the leg extends, the spine rounds with support and strength. And the next time the leg extends, sway the hips from side to side, letting that lateral ripple travel up the spine. Make sure the neck is relaxed. Beautiful, everybody. And then gently set down the back knee. Push evenly into both legs. Shift the weight of the hips back so you can slowly roll up, stacking one vertebra at a time. And then the right arm reaches up and back. We'll take a few of these arm circles at first and start to push down into the left knee so you can feel that cross connection between left knee and right arm. Nice. And if it's coming naturally, you can start to feel that sense of suspension that we found in the weightless rolls, where you almost have like hang time for a moment as the arm circles up and back. And the next time the arm circles back, bring the right hand to the sacrum, push down into the left knee to let the whole left side open. Take a breath. Make sure the low back is relaxed. Nice modification, Charlotte. That looks really good. And then allow the left side to shorten. Bring the hands to the floor or the block. Extend the front leg, option to lift the back knee. And we start again. And so bend and extend in the front leg. Keep the body sealed to the thigh, which means you're probably not going to extend the leg as much, and that's okay. Try to keep equal weight in both feet, even though your center of gravity is forward. Notice how that changes the work of the core and the relationship between both legs. The next time the leg straightens, wag tail from side to side. Release any tension in the spine and the shoulders and the neck. And then set the back knee down, shift the hips back, slowly roll up right into the circling of the right arm. Take it all the way back into the sacrum. Push the left knee down, reach the left arm up, stretch the left side like a rubber band, and then let the rubber band release, either going back to Parsvottanasana or turning the feet away from me and going right into a big circling Prasarita Padottanasana. Start to make smaller circles so you're staying more and more upright. And then pause for a moment at the top. Push into the feet and then push the feet away from one another, activating the outer legs, and let yourself get as spacious and light as possible. And then release the arms down. Move any props off to the side and go to the next track. If you want to grab a sip of water, you can. Okay, let's walk over to the right side. of the mat, meeting in Tadasana. Start to paw out the feet, shifting the weight from foot to foot. Let your body be relaxed and receptive as you do this, finding the place where the pelvis feels as supported and relaxed as possible. And then come to stillness, and we'll take some chair pulses, starting with a little tippy toe action. So shift the weight into the balls of the feet, push down into the big toes, and reach the hands back, letting the whole front of the body lengthen, almost like you're the bottom of a rocking chair. And then anchor the heels down, reach the hips back, and scoop the air up with the arms. Take a couple of pulses like this, letting the front of the body open as you come onto the tiptoes, and letting the back of the body open as you send the hips back. The next time the hips go back, pause and chair. Reach the arms down and back, tipping forward a little bit more. Shift the weight into the left foot. Hover the right foot. Keep the pelvis where it is, but slowly glide the right toes back. Keep them tucked under, and then come up into a high lunge. Look at the back foot. Let the back heel come down. The toes are mostly going to be forward, but just slightly turned out to the right, and straighten the front leg. Bring the hands to the hips, equal weight in both legs. Soften the front knee so the spine can melt over the front leg, and then kick into the front heel. Let the leg straighten, and notice how the straight leg pulls down on the base of the pelvis, initiating a slow roll up through the spine. We'll do a couple of these waving Parsvottanasana. Soften the knee, release forward. Kick into the heel, let the leg straighten, let the hamstring pull the pelvic bowl down, stacking one vertebra at a time. One more. Great, Laura. Try to feel it more in the low back and less in the neck. See if that helps. The next time you come up, lift the back heel. Grab an imaginary beach ball in front of you, and gently start to squeeze the beach ball as you bend both knees. And then straighten both legs and release. And do this a couple of times, and as the knees bend and the arms squeeze, try to feel a sense of condensing in the front of the body, a sense of the leg and the core uniting. The next time you curl forward, pause there. Imagine you're almost doing like a little bit of a crunch, so you can feel how the rectus abdominis supports the pelvis. And then circle the left arm forward, up and back, just like we did with the back knee down. Start to gently drop the right knee, and notice how that helps you participate in the twist. And then come out of it a little, straighten the legs, and take a couple of pulses here. Less is more. Make sure the knees feel supported. This is a really challenging movement, but really useful if you can do it in a way that doesn't build tension. And the next time you're in the lunging twist, pause there. Push into the right foot to slowly lift through the whole right side of the body like we did with the knee down. Beautiful. And then swoop the left arm underneath the right for eagle arms. Turn the feet away from me, going right into your circling Prasarita Padottanasana, but keep the eagle arms. It doesn't matter how low you go, but let it feel really supported, really enjoyable. And we're eventually going to turn all the way to the right. So the next time the arms circle down into the right, turn the feet to the right, so the opposite end of the mat. Shift the weight into the right foot and let the back foot hover for a modified warrior 3 with eagle arms. Doesn't matter how high the leg lifts. Awesome. And then set the back toes down. Push into the back toes to let the whole front of the body open. Nice, Charlotte. And then release the arms. Feel that sense of space and freedom. And then step forward. Drop the arms to the side and just pause in Tadasana. Absorb that sequence. You guys totally Nailed it. And it's easier on the second side because your brain's already learned it on the first side. So let's take a walk to the opposite end of the mat and paw out. You're good. Paw out the weight from foot to foot. Let the shoulders be soft here. Let the attention sink down into the soles of the feet. And once you've found a good placement for the feet, slowly shift the weight forward onto tiptoes as you sweep the arms back, letting the whole front of the body open. And then heels down, hips back, scoop there. Take a few of these at your own pace. Wobbles in the ankle are okay. They're natural, but try to push down evenly through the inside and outside of the ball of the foot and see if that helps the ankle bone stack right at the peak of the foot. Nice. The next time you're in chair, pause there, sweep the arms back, let yourself hinge a little further forward in chair, shift the weight into the right foot, keep the hips exactly where they are, but start to glide the left foot back. The toes come down, and then slowly shift the weight into the back heel. The toes will be mostly forward, maybe a few degrees open to the left. Hands to the hips, equal weight in both feet. Take a moment to relax the hips, soften through the spine, and then just crack the right knee just a little bit, and then melt the spine forward. The body doesn't have to touch the leg. Push down into the right heel. Notice how the leg strengthens and then the spine follows. We'll take a few of these waves. Nice, Laura. That looks so integrated. Great pacing, Janice. Yeah, Charlotte, I can really see the wave of the spine from the bottom to the top. The next time you roll up, reach the arms open, grab your big beach ball, lift the back heel, and soften the knees a little bit. Get springy, weight equal in both feet. And then as you bend the knees, squeeze the beach ball in front of you. You can even look down a little bit, slightly rounding in the spine, and then straighten the legs and open up. Take a few of these pulses to connect through the front of the body, or even feel how the entire body is connected and condensing, feeling safe and supported. And the next time you round forward, keep that sense of connection and integration. The left knee lowers just a little bit as the right arm circles up and back. This is like magic for your psoas, and all of us need that magic, so it's okay if it's hard. And then stay in the twist, straighten the legs a little bit, and take a few pulses here, letting the knee bend take you deeper into the twist. And as the legs straighten, you turn out of it just slightly. Doesn't matter how deep the knees bend, you just want to make sure you don't feel pressure in the front of the knee. If you feel that, don't go as far, and shorten your stance so the back foot comes forward a little bit. The next time you go into the movement, right hand to sacrum, let the left knee slowly lower as the left arm reaches up and over. Doesn't have to be far. This is a really deep pose. Nice. And then as you slowly come out of it, swoop the right arm under the left, eagle arms, circle, keep circling to the left, turn the toes away from me for a wide straddle, and follow that momentum in a big circle down, left, and then up. And try to feel how the weight is shifting in the feet and how that travels all the way up to the hips and the spine, and the whole body is working together, but it starts at the ground and travels all the way up. The next time you're circling down and to the left, let the toes turn to the left, shift the weight into the left foot, stay right there, or lift the right leg for Virabhadrasana 3 with eagle arms. Stay here as long as you want if it feels good. Bend the left knee, make sure you're springy and light, and then eventually put the right toes down, push into both feet, letting the whole body open, lift the arms. Beautiful. Option to walk the left foot over to the left so you have more space here. Take a breath. And then release the arms, letting them fly open, flooding the body with space and energy. Shift the weight into the left foot. Step the right foot forward. Drop the arms. And pause. In Tadasana. Close the eyes if it feels comfortable. Let the body absorb. And then start to walk around your space. Feel the feet contacting the earth. We did a lot for the psoas, so you might notice that you might have a longer gait. You don't have to force it, but there might be a nice amount of extension in the hips, a little spring in your step. Let the arms swing. Let the neck and shoulders relax. Gently make your way back to the mat. This time you can face me, facing the wide edge of the mat. And if you're following along with the playlist, you can go ahead to 2 tracks. That is going to be a more mellow track. Start to shift the weight from foot to foot. Let the toes start to point out, but make sure there's no sense of pressure in the knees, so it doesn't matter how far out the feet point, just whatever feels natural. And then when you find a place where you're like, my legs don't really want to go further, pause there. It's probably smaller than you're used to for goddess, but let's just explore it. Start to bend the knees, tracking the knees towards the pinky. And then adjust the feet so they're at the same angle as the thigh bones. Anchor into the hips and try to feel a sense of support catching the sits bones as you bend the knees. And then give yourself a big hug. Option to stay here with the arms or enjoy one last moment of eagle arms. And we'll slowly roll forward, letting the hips lower into a deep squat, and then push into the heels, rise up a few inches and let the front of the body open. Let the elbows lift any amount. Do this a couple of times. If it feels good to stay low or stay high, you can pause. That's absolutely fine. The next time you come up, pause there. Let the hips sink as the elbows lift and feel the spine traction long. And then turn all 10 toes forward. Swoop the arms open and give yourself a hug with the opposite arm on top. Stay here with the hug or eagle arms on the second side. And once you've found your positioning, slowly start to push down into the feet. Let the whole front of the body open. Imagine the front of the body is like a rubber band stretching long, and then release the rubber band and let that release pull you forward. Gently shift the weight into the right foot. Point the hands to the right a little bit, and then shift the weight into the left foot. Let the hands point to the left. And tick-tock from side to side. You don't have to be in a deep forward bend here. Make sure there's no tension building in the neck or the tops of the shoulders. The beauty of eagle arms is we get a really nice massage in the thoracic vertebra, so that's the space between the shoulder blades. And then release the arms, bend the knees deeply, bring the hands to thighs, the shins, the feet or the floor. And take one moment to relax the spine forward. Let the head hang heavy as long as that doesn't create tension or pressure in the back of the neck. Make sure there's some weight in your heels and the big toe stays anchored. And then we're making our way down to our knees, so you can release the hands and lower one knee at a time, or come down however is the most comfortable for you. I'm turning aside just so you can see me. Tuck the toes under and sit back on the heels. If that's too intense, you can flatten the feet or lean forward so there's less weight. Make sure you're comfortable. And take a moment to pause. And then sit over to one side and extend the legs in front of you, and imagine your sits bones are like little feet. We always paw out our feet in Tadasana. As you shift the weight from sit bone to sit bone, imagine just those little feet pawing out underneath your hips. And then pause for a moment at center. Let the pelvis get heavy. It's okay to bend the knees if this feels intense on the hamstrings. And then we'll all bend the knees a little bit. Again, I'll turn to the side because that's a good way to see me. Start to drag the heels in towards the body. This is going to activate the hamstrings, and notice how that helps you sit up a little taller. The hamstrings are connected to the back muscles. And then take that action to lengthen forward, draping your body over your legs. And then kick into the heels, the legs extend, pulling down on the pelvis, roll up one vertebra at a time. Knees bend, reach forward, legs kick, roll up. And then let the hands follow in any way that's comfortable for you. And we're not trying to stretch, we're really trying to melt away our tension. Nice. Try to move through this as smoothly as possible, which often means slowing down and not going as far as we're used to or as we want to, because there's that little voice that's like, deeper is better. And that is such a lie. The next time you roll up, pause there. Option 2, extend the legs straight if the knees are bent, and notice any sense of support through the back line of the body and ability to sit up. If you can't feel that ability, you can lean back a little bit to extend the spine. And then we'll have a restorative pose, and I forgot about this. I'm sorry that you might not all have a blanket nearby. Quick, find a blanket or ask Andy to grab you a blanket. And we'll have a nice roll. This is going to go underneath our spine. You can also use pillows. It's worth it, so take your time. Most important things here, and I want you to see this before you do it, is that your head is supported. So make sure when it's long enough that the head comes onto it, and then we'll take some time to scooch around because you want your low back to not be in too deep of a back bend. And so I had to scoot my hips forward so that it was a more gradual slope in my spine. It should feel good. Actually, I should say it should feel like almost nothing. If you're like, oh, this is a really big back bend, then unroll the blanket a little bit so it's not as big. And then step the feet wide on the mat and let the knees knock in. Tent the fingertips and crawl the arms away from the body, and then release the elbows down and let the shoulders and neck get soft. Start to lengthen through the base of the skull. You'll know you're doing it right if it feels like you're getting a double chin. Believe it or not, that is the goal. And instead of getting a double chin, this is actually allowing the tongue to start to press into the roof of the mouth. So try to press the tongue there and swallow a couple of times to create a suction. This is called Kachari Mudra. And then let everything start to soften and release any urge to do. These restorative poses are working on us in a deeper layer than the physical. They're helping us feel safe and supported. And they're helping any stress that we might be carrying around, any sense of needing to succeed or change things, letting that all dissolve so we can be present. So we'll relax here for a couple more minutes, and you're welcome to pause your music if your phone is close enough, or you'll have an opportunity to do so before Shavasana. A counter pose that we'll take before we slide off the blanket will require bringing our hips up onto the blanket. So gently start to rock the weight from arm to arm, just stimulating support in the arms. And then as you feel ready, push into the feet, lifting the hips, and slowly start to slide back onto your support. You want to slide far enough back that the head and neck come off of the bolster, and the bolster is between the shoulders. So now the low back is supported and the chest can open. Just like before, we still want length in the back of the neck. And you can wiggle around until you find the place that feels the best for the spine. I like it with the top of the support right between the shoulders, so I can melt away tension from the heart, from the chest, from the neck. adjust the angle of the arms. And you can play with the legs, same thing, feet wide, knees knocked in is always going to be sort of the safest, most regenerative. But if the body's craving something different, you can play with the soles of the feet together and the knees relaxing. I wouldn't do this without props, but we'll just be here for a couple of breaths as a counter pose. And then eventually start to roll off your prop onto the right side. Pause for a moment with the head on the arm. Let yourself relax. And then reach behind you so you can lift away the blanket. And if you would like, you can revisit a few of those weightless rolls from the beginning, just slowly rolling from side to side, finding that sense of suspension. Can add anything on, perhaps hugging the knees into the chest or taking a gentle twist, whatever you're happy. I guess I didn't mean to say happy, but whatever makes you happy. And then as you're ready, grab your blanket and slide it underneath the center of the knees as the legs extend. And wiggle around until the low back feels supported. If you haven't paused your music, please pause your music. And make your way into Shavasana, where you can completely release the physical body and start to sink more deeply into the realm inside that is endlessly vast, completely safe and nourishing. And we'll rest in this space for the next 10 minutes or so. Mm. Let yourself enjoy being in this relaxed space. Start to feel the breath without controlling it or changing it, just observing. Start to make gentle movements and again, try to observe them. Try to actually see your body moving through space. Take in the sensation, but don't become it. Still observing. And eventually you'll make your way up to seated, but take your time. Take the scenic route, maybe stretching or curling the knees in, rocking a little. And then treat yourself to a comfortable meditation seat. So please grab whatever you need. Support your hips, perhaps support your knees. And the yogis developed asana practice to prepare for meditation. And one way this practice prepares us is by preparing the physical body to sit. And so first, notice that physical layer, the support in the pelvis, the support in the spine, yet an ease and a lightness. And scan the body, and without judgment, notice if there's tension, and use your awareness to adapt. This might be changing your position or just letting that muscle release. You can close the eyes or find a single place upon which to gaze. And the second way our asana practice prepares us is it increases our ability to focus. You've spent 75 minutes being present with the beautiful sensations in your body. And so now notice if it's more accessible to be present to the stillness. Allow the breath now to be the movement that captures your interest. And just like every yoga pose that I tell you to do this, slow down the breath. Smooth out the breath. Not with doership, not by gripping or forcing, but by relaxing more, becoming more conscious. start to feel how the breath naturally travels towards the center of the chest, the heart chakra. And notice any sense of spaciousness that the inhale naturally carves out. And then the magic really happens when you can exhale and keep your focus at the heart and drop into the spaciousness, or even allow the spaciousness to increase as you exhale. And for me, this experience is kind of like the experience of the tingsas, the chimes that start with a single noise, and then there's that reverberation that becomes more and more subtle, more and more spacious. And so for our meditation practice, we'll keep breathing into the heart, and then use the exhale to feel the single point at the center of the heart, as well as this expanse around it. And I'll ring the tingsas a few times over the next couple of minutes and try to feel that single point. Let it reverberate at the heart, and as the sound becomes more spacious and subtle, ride that wave and let the heart become more spacious and your awareness become more subtle. And though I will no longer ring the tingsas, try to use that experience. Let it guide you as you work with the breath and the heart. And we'll now join this practice with the Om Namah Shivaya mantra. And it's okay if at first the mantra is like the dense part of the tingsha chime. But as you repeat it again and again, let it get softer. Let it get more spacious. Mm. It's okay if you become distracted, but try to notice how wonderful it feels to come back to the practice. Though the thoughts are alluring and may seem interesting on a superficial level, see if you can feel the relief of letting them go. If you can experience the nectar and the nourishment of being present. There's no judgment. But the more you can enjoy your meditation practice, the more you'll crave it, the more you'll come to your cushion or come to the mantra during the day. And so release any sense of doership and let your meditation practice be just as enjoyable as your yoga practice, as if you were massaging away tension in your psychic system. Finding that inner sense of suspension and weightlessness. And if that experience feels far away, cling to your mantra for dear life. The mantra will take you there. And take a moment to observe your state of being. And freedom doesn't mean you've have to make it to the top of the mountain, but really you've calibrated your compass and you're going in the right direction. And so just feel yourself pointed in that direction. Notice how you're experiencing this moment, so simple, so clear, and maybe all the things pulling you around before class don't feel quite as important. Hope you can take this state into the rest of your day, because we don't reject the world. We get to just be more conscious as we enjoy life to the fullest. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. Always a treat to practice. Have a great week. We had extra time for meditation, which I really enjoyed. I would love your feedback, as we are always adapting, but after all, meditation is what the school does best. Yay, thumbs up from everyone. Okay, well, take care, everybody. Dana, I want to hear about when your wedding is. Oh, hang on, I can't hear you, and I'm sure it's on our end. I apologize. Okay, I think I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's coming up. It's on September 10th.
Wow, that's so soon. I'm so excited for you guys.
And that means we're back to Hawaii on the 31st. So we're going to be up north for the most part, but because that's where we're getting married in Akabao. But yeah, our families are coming. Both of our families are coming for a week from the 3rd to the 10th. And yeah, I'm so excited.
Oh, that's so fun. So you're getting married here?
Yeah, on Big Island.
Wow, so special.
Well, it's our special story, like that we met out there through me teaching yoga. So you guys are part of that story.
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so.
We're really excited. Lots still to do and plan and everything. We're trying to stay focused on the meeting and the purpose and not too much of the over planning.
Yeah, it's such a balance, but hearing you talk about it sounds like you're doing the dance.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the dance. That's for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay, congratulations. I'm so.
Thank you. We're so excited. And I did want to tell you, Andy, just the other day just brought up the mangoes that you gave us that one time when we were going to see Pele. And because we've been getting some really good fruit here. And we were talking about, like, what's your favorite fruit? He was like, Tobias mangoes. I was like, oh, yes, that's so good.
Oh my gosh.
We're sending you love.
Heart explosion. We do have mangoes right now. If we're still getting them in September, I'll make sure to give you a wedding present. But I never know what's going to happen.
A little bit, so maybe I can come and see you. That'd be great.
I know how busy it is, so I will not be. I know, especially with your family here. But of course, it would be wonderful to see you. We'll be sending you love no matter what.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for class. It was so
Oh,
exactly what I needed.
thanks.
Class was so much.
Oh, it's so. Sometimes I visualize you, and I'm like, I hope Dana comes to class today, and I did that today. So I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
I love it when I can make it. And then tomorrow's my birthday. I have to spend part of my last day of my 33rd year with you.
OMG! Happy birthday! Have the best day. I'm so glad I know that. Well, I'll be thinking about you extra tomorrow. And don't make a donation for class. This is your birthday present.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, happy birthday.
All right, I'll see you soon.
Bye.